To get started using Bootstrap, let's go ahead and head over to our browser. And we're going to go ahead and visit the URL getbootstrap.com. Okay, and you can see here in the middle of the page is a big old download button. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click that, and that's going to take us to this download area at getting started /download. And you can see the three different download options that we talked about previously. So these two here on the right are the less preprocessor and SAS preprocessor versions. So these are the source files here that will allow you to customize all of the settings and colors, and then that would compile down to the CSS that you would use in production. And then over here on the left, we have the default Bootstrap, which is already compiled and minified and also includes all of the JavaScript files and fonts that we'll need. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and select this first one on the left, which is just the default Bootstrap download. So currently I'm using Chrome browser, which by default will download files into my downloads folder inside my users folder. So I'm going to go ahead now and open up Terminal. And I'm going to change directory into /downloads and see if it's there. Okay, so then we'll do ls, and here we can see the Bootstrap 3.2.0 distributed version. And this is a zip file, so I'm going to go ahead and extract it by typing unzip bootstrap, like so. And then we'll go ahead and hit return. And this will unarchive, or in other words, uncompress that zip file. So now we can see that we actually have a folder here. Okay, and if I go into the folder, I can see the CSS folder, the fonts, and the JavaScript folder. Excellent. So I'm actually going to cd ... out of this guy. All right, so I'm just in my downloads folder here. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to move this file into my dev folder so that I can work on it and use it for my project. So I'm going to use the mv command, move, and we're going to go ahead and say move bootstrap, and we're going to move it to /dev/ and then I'm going to go ahead and rename the folder. So I'm going to go ahead and call this guy exceptional-realty, and we'll call it bootstrapped. Okay. So again, I'm just moving it from its current folder, bootstrap -3.2.0 -distributed to /dev/exceptional-realty -bootstrapped, like so. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and hit return. So I'm going to change directory to that location now, which is /dev/exceptional-realty -bootstrapped. And if we do in ls now, we can see that we are now inside of that exceptional-realty bootstrapped folder, and we can see the CSS, fonts, and JS folder are also there. So that's pretty cool. What I'd also like to do is grab all of my images and video and things from my previous exceptional-realty project and move it in here now. So I'm going to go ahead and cd ... and change directory exceptional-realty. And then we'll go ahead and do an ls, and we'll see what else we can bring over here. So we do have this images folder. We also have this videos folder here. So I think what I'll do is I'll copy those guys over. So we'll say cp for copy, and we'll do -rf to include any subfiles or folders inside of there. And we'll go ahead and move images, and we'll move this one to /dev/exceptional-realty bootstrapped /images, like that. So again, I'm moving the images folder from my current exceptional-realty project. This is the one that we're building week by week during the code alongs, and I'm moving it to my bootstrapped project now. So we're moving the images folder over there, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the up arrow to bring up the last command, but this time I'm going to go back and change images to say videos. like so, and we'll move the videos folder into a videos folder in our Bootstrapped project. Okay, cool. So now we have all of our media content, and now we can change directory back into ~dev/exceptional realty -bootstrap. Okay, and if I ls, now I can see I also have my images and videos folder there as well. Okay, that's pretty cool. So now I think I'll just make a few files to get myself started. I'll create a README file initially. So we'll say touch readme.markdown. Okay. And we'll also create an index page. I'll say touch index.html. All right. And then we'll go ahead and bring this all up in Sublime Text using the subl. Command. Okay, excellent. So first we'll double click on readme.markdown, and I'll create a simple README file here. We'll just go ahead and say exceptional realty website, and then we'll just say bootstrapped version. Okay, and I'll just write a little note. This is a example website using the Twitter Bootstrap version 3 framework. More information on using Bootstrap can be found at, and we'll go ahead and say getbootstrap.com, which is at http://getbootstrap.com. Cool. That's pretty good. So we'll go ahead and save this README file. All right. And then we'll go ahead and double click on the index.html file now. So I'll bring up index.html, and we're ready to get started inserting our basic template that we use for Bootstrap. So I'm going to head back over to my browser, and here I still have Bootstrap open. Okay. And on the right-hand navigation here, we're currently in the download section. If you head down a couple more, you'll see one that's labeled basic template. Looks just like this, basic template. So we're going to go ahead and click on that link, and that's going to show a very simple HTML template here. Okay. So we'll go ahead and copy this guy like so. Command C, or you can also, just click this copy button here, which is in the upper right-hand corner, to copy it to your clipboard. Okay. And then we'll head back over to the index.html file in Sublime Text, and we're going to go ahead and paste that in there. So here we can see just the basic HTML5 document structure. You can see that it's automatically already linking to bootstrap.min.css, so I have all of the CSS here, and it's also linking to the bootstrap.min.js, so I also have access to all of the JavaScript available. Okay. And there's just an H1 they threw in here as a placeholder for us that says hello world. Okay. So let's go ahead and save the file, Command S, and then I'm going to bring this guy up in a browser here. So I'll just go ahead and do a control click and say open in browser. All right. And sure enough, I see hello world appears. So there's my H1 heading. Okay. That's good. And you'll notice that this is in Helvetica font. We have a sans serif font appearing, which is not the default in the browser. The default setting for Chrome would be something that has serifed fonts. Okay, so here we can see the characters are indeed inheriting the Bootstrap style. All right, so that's a good start. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump back to terminal. And I think now that I've kind of laid the foundation for getting started with my Bootstrap project, I'd like to go ahead and track all this progress using Git. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new Git repository here. So I'm going to say git init. Okay, and here it says it initialized a new empty Git repository. Okay, excellent. And then we'll go ahead and say git add dot to add all of our files. And we'll do a git commit -m. And here we'll just say start Bootstrap project. Okay, so that'll be my first commit there. And it's now committing all of these files here, all my CSS, all my fonts, all my images, etc. Okay, so the next thing I want to do then is I want to hop over to the browser, and we're going to go to GitHub. And we're going to go ahead and create a new repository here on my GitHub remote. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one exceptional-realty-bootstrapped, like so. And for the description, I can just copy in the description I had on the README here. So we'll go ahead and say, there we go. We'll just paste this in and remove that. Okay, so here I have a nice description. This is an example website using the Twitter Bootstrap version 3 framework. More information on using Bootstrap can be found at, and I just pasted in the URL here, getbootstrap.com. Okay, and this one will just be a public repository. So I'm going to go ahead and click create. Okay, and then down here we have the remote add code, which gives me remote add origin. We'll just copy that line. Okay, since we already did this, we already did git init, we already added and committed, right? So we're now going to go back to terminal, and we'll go ahead and paste that in, which is git remote add origin. So it's adding a new remote called origin, and here is that URL. Okay, and then we're going to hit return. Okay, and if I type git remote space -v for verbose, we can go ahead and see that now we have an origin that we can push and pull from. All right, and it's pointing to the right place. Excellent. So now we can go ahead and push this code up. So we'll say git push -u origin master. Okay, and this will take a moment since we have video and images and everything. Okay, excellent. So it just pushed up a new master branch here. And if I come back to this repository and refresh the page, I can now see that there. Okay, so here's my README. And then here I have the index page, right, which is linking to the Bootstrap style sheet and the Bootstrap JavaScript code. Okay, excellent. So next let's talk about creating a layout using the Bootstrap grid system.